Exactly what you wanna say. What you wanna say. Exactly what you wanna say. What you wanna say.
Hey everybody. Hello. Hi. Rini here. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I know nobody has been asking, how come I haven't been doing any content, where I've been. We may do that in another video, but just to summarize it, 2025 has been topsy-turvy, crazy. We're all just surviving at this point. I got lazy and that's that. But we here now, okay? So we're just gonna get straight into this review. I'm embarrassed for my inconsistency. I'm embarrassed for not being here. So please just forgive me. We're going to go into this, finish up the year strong, go into 2026 strong. Okay, I know I say that every year, but we are going to follow through and do it for real this time. So Wicked for Good, hot off the heels, just came back from seeing Wicked for Good starring. And I've heard, is it a Revo or a Revio? I've heard some people pronounce it a Revio, and I'm like, that's not right. It's a Revo, isn't it? I don't know. Cynthia Erivo, Ariana Grande, Jonathan Bailey, Ethan Slater, Jeff Goldblum, among others. Yeah, we all know who's in it. We all saw the first one. If you didn't, where have you been? Yeah, so hot off the heels of seeing it. And I must say, I know there's been some discourse online about the movie. A lot of people saying they didn't like it as much as the first one. I'm telling you, I liked the movie. Well, first of all, I saw the play twice. And both times I wasn't exactly feeling it that much. Like, I know the first time I think I fell asleep like for a good chunk of it. The second time I saw it, it was okay. But to me, when I saw the first Wicked movie, it was able to get into the details and give a lot of depth to the characters and to the storyline that I feel the play sort of was a little bit lackluster in. And I feel the same way about this second part. I think a lot of people are getting tripped up with this being in their minds a sequel, right? The sequel in some people's minds is supposed to like supersede the first one. It's supposed to be more exciting. I think they wanted it to have the same kind of energy as the first movie, but like if anyone saw the musical, you would know that the second half is just story. The second half is not, the second half is devoid of all the bells and the whistles and the flashy stuff. It's just there to give you more depth to these characters and more depth to the story. And I liked it. I like that it kind of slowed down a little bit. I like that we got to see more of their relationships develop, which was kind of there in the first one, but not so much, not as prevalent as it was in this one. So I guess, without too many spoilers, there will be some spoilers, but not getting too deep into spoilers in case, it is kind of early, in case anybody wants to see it. It continues the story right where the first one left off, where Elphaba is escaping Oz because she basically has been outcasted as an evil witch. And we pick up right where we left off. They're looking for her. Things are going crazy. People going bananas. We find out that Nessa, like their father died. Nessa's Elphaba's sister. We found out that the father did indeed pass away after the first movie, and she has taken over his position as the city counselor, I forgot, commissioner, I don't know. But she took over his position, and just, I guess we could start off with the characters, and then we'll get into maybe the music and the overall storyline. Nessa has gotten very dark in this second part. I'm assuming it's because of the loss of her father, the responsibilities of having to deal with what's going on in town. She has turned to the dark side, and she is just like, all of the joy and all of the innocence that she had in the first half is just not there in this movie, and it gives rise to her sort of mistreatment of Bach. I mean, that man like went through it. Like he called himself trying to like do something nice, and just to stay close to Glinda, but he ended up getting stuck. He ended up getting stuck and not being able to escape. And the consequences of that, are the consequences. We're not going to get into what happens to him in case you haven't seen the movie, but yeah, he pays the price. He pays the price for. I think in the when you talk about karma, maybe just him using her to sort of get back at Glinda, or sort of distract from his feelings for Glinda, it came back at him because he sort of did a little bit of a manipulation in terms of hanging around Nessa, like making her think that he was there for her, like when, like from what I gather, she had no idea that they didn't have any kind of relationship. She thought that he was there for the long run, and then he just upped and said, you know what, like I'm out, like I'm gone, like I see ya. so to me it's just is very unfortunate, and I'm sure that if she was the Nessa from the first movie, it wouldn't have gone down the way it went down. But she's a very different person, as a lot of them are very different people. And I think that's the ongoing theme throughout this movie, is that all of the characters sort of went through this, drastic change from the first movie. We see that with Glinda, who has continued her relationship with Fiyero, but Fiyero is a man on a mission. Okay, Fiyero checked out of life. He got appointed to the head guard to the army that was looking for Elphaba to try to track her down, right? But he's just coasting, like he's just on autopilot. His sole focus is to find Elphaba, even if that means having to get coerced into a marriage with Glinda. The man is not interested in caring about anything but finding baby girl. and then, when he finds her at the wedding, and he's like, look, I'm leaving with her. He told Glinda, look, I'm just gonna go. Like, there was no explanation. There was no like any sort of anything. Like, he was just like, no, I'm gonna go. Like, this is my mission. This is what I set out for. And then that's that. A lot of the things that happen are just like finality. It's just like finality in people's decisions, finality in sort of turning their backs on the situations that they set themselves up with in the first film. Elphaba is completely different as well. She continued on her path to sort of showcase or show Oz what the wizard is doing, the pain and the hurt that he's causing the animals, and for what he's doing to the animals in Oz. She is trying to call attention to that. She gets sort of framed and mislabeled and outcasted. It sort of represents like a lot of, it's also in the first movie where there were themes of like an understated theme of having people see you beyond your skin, having people see you beyond their first assumptions of you. This takes it a bit further, where even though you have the best intentions, even though you have like these altruistic, ideals, and you're trying to help people, the same people you're trying to help are coming against you. The same people you're trying to help don't respect you enough to hear what you're saying. And she doesn't have access to Oz, communicate with Oz the way Madame Marble does, who's played by Michelle Yeoh, who does an amazing job. And her motivation to continuously frame Elphaba is interesting. It's like they just want the villain, but it's just a lot of the discourse and a lot of the chaos that happens is because she's going out of her way to blame and to mislabel Elphaba as the Wicked Witch. If she would just like let things play out, it wouldn't be as crazy. Like, in a way, it could be her trying to protect the wizard, but I feel like it's more of a personal thing as opposed to the wizard. And as far as the wizard goes, he's still grifting. He's still out here in his own, playing with his trinkets, playing with his toys, not being serious. And him and Glinda try to convince Elphaba to work with them. That doesn't work. and Elphaba finds out something that he's doing behind the scenes that really sets everything off. And it sets things off to the point where Fiyero finds his girl and he leaves with her. He just tells Glinda, look, I'm out. Like, we're gone. We're leaving. And then the scene happened. Yo, in that scene, like, okay, where is she getting the negligees? Like the silk negligees? Like it was ready. It was ready. Okay, the negligee, the silk, the cozy wrap. That was all ready. That was ready. Okay, how was it planned? Okay, that was interesting. Interesting scene there. Yeah, interesting scene. So we have, like, I'm still trying to figure out why people are coming out saying they dislike this or they hated it or they just didn't like it. If you see it as a continuation of the first movie, like with every movie, you have certain beats, right? You have like the first third of it sets up the story, then the next part of it sets up the character development, and then you have the finale in the last part. If you combine these two movies, it follows the beats perfectly. You have the setup in the first movie. Now, granted, the first movie was just one big long setup because they had to encapsulate it into its own movie, which is a very difficult task, right? They had to set up a movie to have a second part, to have it be cohesive, to have it be an entire story, but also make the first movie sort of be its own movie, which is a difficult task. Like, to me, if you combine these two, it's fine. And, you know, just because it slows down, just because it's a little bit darker doesn't mean it's less of a movie. The production is amazing. The story is amazing. The performance is amazing. Of course, Cynthia and Ariana's vocals are incredible. You know, the same as they were in the first one. It's just a different type of story. It's a little bit of a slower pace, but it was enjoyable nonetheless. The music. There were 2 new songs in this one. No Place Like Home. Was it No Place Like Home? I believe it's called No Place Like Home, which is sung by Cynthia Erivo with the Animals, and another song, Girl in a Bubble. And the production of this song was beautiful. Like, it's a scene where Glinda is realizing that her entire life is a lie. She's realizing that she put so much effort into being perfect and to being presentable that she lost touch with who she is and what would make her a complete person. She comes to the slow realization where everything that she's done, particularly in Oz and what the image that she's cultivated for herself is not real. It's glitzery, it's glamorous, it's fancy, but just like how she doesn't have any real magic, it's just all a facade. It's all fake. So in this song, the way it's shot, everything is sort of like a different perspective. It's not a straight on perspective. It's her looking at herself through a mirror, or it's her looking at herself through a reflection, or it's looking at her through a looking glass, or looking at her through a different angle where you're coming down from a chandelier, or you're coming out from a mirror and you're seeing her. So it's like the song reflects her coming to the realization that she's just living a lie and she's living this facade. So beautifully shot sequence. Just the set design, like just like in the first movie they won an Oscar for set design, they completely deserve it for this one, especially considering that the majority of them are practical. They didn't go so heavy on the CGI. Just beautiful, gorgeous. The colors, spot on. One thing that I would say where it got a little bit clunky is them trying to incorporate the story of Dorothy and the original Wizard of Oz. That comes into play in this movie. And I noticed this when I did see the musical, the Broadway musical as well. It's not as prominent in the musical as it is in this film. But the way they sort of tie it together, I see how they tied it together, but at the same time, I'm just like, I didn't care to see Dorothy. I didn't care to see her at all. Like, it could have just been like something like off the side, or even though they didn't show her that much, it's just, I feel like, because there's one scene where, I don't know if you've seen like the memes where Elphaba captures her. She uses the flying monkeys to capture Dorothy, and she likes her in the basement, and then Dorothy is down there listening to Elphaba and Glinda sing their duet. But overall, I like the movie. Overall, I see where people are coming from, where they feel like it's a little bit of a had less of an impact than the first movie, but I didn't go into it looking for that. I went into it looking, understanding that they had stories to tell in this one, and that was the goal, and that's what they accomplished. So yeah, overall, very, very good. Very, 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 very good. Very entertaining, and great music, great singing, and I liked it. Out of 10, I would give it like I would give this half. I would have gave the first one a 9 out of 10. I would give this one like an 8.5 out of 10. Still good, still serviceable. Enjoyed it. All right, so yeah, so we're gonna have more content coming. Apologies for being MIA. It's just been a lot of stuff, but we're here now, and yeah, we'll be back. Definitely we'll be back. I'm gonna do some reviews. I'm gonna do the new Squid Game show that's on Netflix, the competition. So we're gonna do that. That was a smash hit on this channel the first time I did it, so we're gonna do that again. All right, so I'll see you next time. Bye.